Yeah.
Hey everybody, Mike Copera with podcastcondition.com bringing you episode 108 of What You Drinking. And I am in my room drinking. And it looks like we've got Dan sending texts. Well, all right, we're starting here. What's up, Dan? How you doing?
How you doing? I just have to get my beer. Hold on a second. I'm
No
actually
problem.
going to bring one. Be right back.
No problem. So we talked about bringing Saisons to the table last week. So I did not do that. Right now I'm finishing up a Misfit IPA from a local brewery here in the Chicago suburbs called Wild Onion. Chris looks like he's trying to find an invite, and he does not realize that the link is posted in the comments. And
Tell him.
He's not finding the link apparently. But I was just saying we decided last week that we're going to do Saisons, but I did not have one on hand, so I brought something of a different style. Finishing up an IPA that I started with dinner today.
Oh, which one's that?
The Misfit IPA from Wild Onion.
Oh, okay. What do you think about that?
I actually kind of like it. I've not had this one before.
Okay.
Sorry from talking a little soft. The baby's in her room next door, so try not to have her hear me through the walls. But I like it. It's a lot cloudier. You can't really see much, but it's not very clear, and it's got good smell. I remember when I first popped it open, I was like, "This is pretty goddamn good." But it tastes pretty good. It's not nothing crazy standing out kind of stuff, but it's pretty good IPA. Have you had it? I'm not hearing you, Dan.
Yes, I've had it, and it's pretty damn good. But my mic's off right now, so I'm having somebody speak for me.
He's still. We can't hear you, Dan.
I actually like drinking it out of a graduated cylinder because I feel more intellectual when I do that.
This is fun. I think I'm just going to start muting some of you guys so that you can do this. That's a sweet shirt, dude. Let me see that.
It's I forget. I just put it on. Share or store.
Large files you must.
It's a buddy of mine that I work with went to a convention last week, and it was like massive vendors, and so he brought all the swag back, grabbed what he wanted to keep, and then left the rest for us to scavenge over. So
that's awesome. Can't go wrong with a good Star Wars shirt.
No, yeah, and it's a freebie from, I don't even know who this is. I think who's it say on the back?
Can you see it?
I can't. It won't focus in. Trusted, secure, share file. Something share file.
Something share file. Yeah, okay. Some vendor. Thank you, vendor.
So Dan's back, but I still can't hear him.
No.
Do you have your mic plugged in, maybe, Dan? So what did you bring tonight, Chris? I did not have a Saison on hand, so I'm gonna.
Are you drinking what I think you're? Central Waters. I thought it was an Arcadia. Never mind. I see Central Waters, right?
It's Central Waters, but it is. Oh God, I had this one a couple nights ago. I got two more in the closet. This is the bourbon barrel aged Scotch ale from Central Waters. This is fucking amazing.
I've had a couple of their beers. I wasn't overly blown away, but I don't think I had any big beers like that.
Central Waters is pretty solid as a matter of fact. They're not, some of their flagships aren't like the most stand out or whatever, but this one I was like, Dan had actually picked this up before me, and he said that he said he was excited about it. I'd never had it, so hey,
Dan, we see that.
Okay, I can see the. There we go. Okay, yeah, I can hear that because you just stopped. So that's a pretty good indicator.
I've been waiting for your little green lights to pop up, and that was the first time I saw them pop up when you tapped.
Yeah, that was weird. I closed out and came back in, so I have no idea what happened. And by the way, thanks.
I like that segment. I think that we should do that every.
What we need to be able to do though is you need to click on the video so it stays on Dan's video, but then somebody else is talking because.
I could do that.
Oh, then I'd have to move my mouth though, just to make sure that.
Well, you usually are. You're going. We can't hear you, but I'm sure you're going. Motherfucking mic is broke again.
No, it's not the mic. I think it's whatever connector it is that goes into my computer. It keeps on crapping out. It should probably get it fixed.
What do you use as a mic? Are you using the mic on the headset or? You got a little.
The blue.
Yeah. Blue.
Hold on just a second. I gotta get a rinse on my glass. I'll be right back.
So what did you bring tonight, Dan? We can't hear you again. So Chris is gone. I'm talking to myself because nobody can hear Dan anymore. He lost his connection. He's swearing right now, most likely. Oh, he's gone. So it's just me and Chris's chair. So Chris's chair, what did you bring to the show tonight? Oh, that's interesting, Chris's chair. And Dan's back. We lost Dan again. Chris. So I was having a nice conversation with your chair for a little bit.
Hey, Dan. I just for curiosity's sake, I'm guessing this isn't the case, but my mic has an actual headphone jack in the back, so I can actually plug into that if I wanted to instead of my laptop. I have to change the setting in the Hangouts to reflect that connection. No, okay.
I used to do the same thing. I thought that might be a good fix for him. That's a shame.
I am drinking a great Saison.
Ooh.
I don't know if you can see it. Oh, I gave a little hint there. I don't know why I'm drinking this tonight. I should do a review for it, but this is not a Saison. This is an IPA. I wouldn't call it a white whale. This is Highlight aged on oak, which people have.
I've not seen or had that one. I've had a Highlight, but
Highlight. This one's supposed to be phenomenal. It's from July, though. I think it's been sitting a little bit. Yeah, June 30 actually, so it's not fresh. So I will tell you how this Saison tastes.
What's Dan saying? He's putting something in the chat. He says he keeps hearing the tone that sounds when you connect and disconnect a device from the computer.
Yeah, that could
Dan,
be.
I don't know. How's your settings set up? I don't know. You can't answer me, but like, yeah, it's weird. I don't know how to.
Connecting or disconnecting. I would be surprised if it's I mean, it could be the jack on the computer, but try another set of headphones. Don't you have some Beats by Dre or something you could use? Oh, it's not. Oh, I'm sorry. It's not the headphones. It's the mic, isn't it? So
It's
gotta be just a USB thing. Yep. He's going yep.
I'm noticing one of your bottles in the background, and I remember you having Dragon's Milk on the show before, and we kind of talked about it. I saw some sort of a hint on Facebook towards a new version of that beer. They're gonna do like a chocolate coffee version of the.
Oh, really?
Dragon's Milk. Yeah, I saw it on Facebook. I think it was. I don't know. One of those.
Makes sense. I mean, I know they've done the raspberry, which I think I have sitting in there from last year or 2 years ago.
I've never seen that.
Raspberry, and then they have the one with some of the hot peppers or something like that. They did one with like some kind of hot peppers. I don't know. I'm not impressed with Dragon's Milk anymore. I'm starting to talk to more and more people, and I've gotten one person saying no, that's not true, but I don't think they knew what they were talking about. But I don't think they're barrel aging it as much as we think they are. I think they're adding a lot of extract, like vanilla and stuff like that, to give it that bourbon barrel taste. They may be bourbon barrel aging it, but it's not for like 10, 12 months. It's for a month, because they've got the distilling process they're doing up there with their they make bourbon as well, and for as much bourbon barrel aged Dragon's Milk that they're making all year long. I mean, I don't know any brewery that makes any bourbon barrel aged beer all year long that's good. Maybe Alltech Distilling down in Kentucky, maybe making that bourbon barrel aged ale and that bourbon barrel aged stout, and those aren't that good because I don't think they age them that long. And this, I'm starting to get more of a nose of like and hint of like vanilla more than I am of bourbon. So it's still not a bad beer.
I was just gonna say, doesn't it taste good?
It still tastes good, but you could tell it's not. It doesn't hold its own to like probably what you're drinking. I would assume.
This is really bourbony. I'm not even the biggest fan of Scotch ales, and that's why I was almost hesitant to buy it when Dan said he grabbed a 6 or a 4-pack of it. Mm-hmm. But I went to Binny's and I was looking for the Velvet Merkin's supposed to be out soon from Firestone Walker.
Oh, yeah. See, you guys get those. We don't get Firestone over here.
Don't? Oh man, I'll send you some. I've
had the Jacks, right? Wookiee Jack, all that's Firestone, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I've had a couple of those when I've been over to Chicago, but I haven't had any of the, like Parabola is a hard to get one, I bet, isn't it? Isn't that Parabola?
Yeah, it's like a one-time release, and it goes pretty quick. Same with Abacus,
right?
Which I've got the last couple of years in the closet, so it's doable. But you just gotta time it right. The guy at Binny's that I usually go to, the guy that used to buy the beer there, he used to like tweet out whenever something came in, and it would be almost like every time on my lunch break, so I'd just go right there.
That's nice.
and pick it up and go. But now Binny's is not a fan of any of their employees doing that, so they don't do it anymore. So I just stopped like almost every other day, and I'm like, is it in? Because he's been saying that the distributor's saying it's like in a few weeks now. So, but I want to get my hands on that. But anyways, I was like, all right. So if you don't have that, I go, what's new? What's good? What are you liking? And he's like, do this Central Water Scotch Ale. It's like bourbon barrel aged. He's like, it's drinking really nice. And so it was like the last 4-pack, and I was like, well, it's not what I came in here for, but I'm gonna have to grab it, and I'm glad. Man, it's good. I mean, anything bourbon barrel aged is pretty good if they do it right, and Central Waters, they're pretty solid brewery. They know what they're doing. So
I think if a brewery takes and they don't reuse old barrels, and they actually put the beer in there and let it sit, and they have the what's the word I'm looking for? If they're able to financially do that, because sometimes apparently I don't quite understand the finances on that, but apparently it's sitting in a beer that they've made and let it sit that long hurts them. But to me, they're going to sell it anyways, is why I always look at it. But I'm not an accountant, obviously. And if they can let it sit in there like 10 to 12 months or whatever, I think that's where you get your best bang for your buck. It's these breweries that make a bourbon barrel aged beer and it's in the barrel we put it in their barrel for 60 days or 45 days and it make it sound elaborate, but then you taste it, it's just like, yeah, I can kind of taste it, but I'm still the base beer. I can still taste the base beer. I like, and some people don't like all that bourbon, but in this time of year, I'll pour it all over me. I'll bathe in it.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of the bourbon barrel age. I'm not a big. I shouldn't say I'm not a big fan of, but I haven't really gone into this, in a lot of spirits, and I don't drink a ton of just bourbon. But
I don't either. Yeah.
But based on like the fact that I love these beers as much, I might have to check it out because
I will dabble in it when I go to my buddies. Usually we'll drink a bunch, and this might happen this weekend. In fact, we'll drink a bunch of beers, and then all of a sudden him or I will look at our phone, and it's like 3, sometimes even 4 in the morning if we lose track of time. And he'll look at me and go, "What you want before you go to bed?" I'm like, "What? I don't know." And he's like, "You want rum, bourbon?" And he usually does like a bourbon or a scotch, and I usually do like a rum. But once in a while, I'll say, "Screw it, do whatever you're doing," and that's our little throw it back, and that nightcap at the end of everything, like the cherry on the top. And it's not bad. It's harsh sometimes, but if you get the good stuff, don't do wild turkey and crap like that. But
yeah, still not hearing Dan. There were 2 of them.
Oh, there he is. There he is.
Okay, just rebooted the computer completely, so hopefully that does it. But
If that doesn't work next time, reboot the fridge.
actually, what I might just do is throw the computer at the fridge.
I can see that.
Then do a manual reset. So
you've been sipping on something over there. What are you drinking there?
yeah, I've actually got a Saison. I've got a citrus Saison by Pipeworks. That is, I mean, I've had this before.
Citrus Saison, huh?
Yeah, it's a tasty beer. It smells really citrusy, really citra-y, not citrusy, and taste it all the way through. It's damn near an IPA with Saison yeast, but yeah, it works really well. It's nice.
Nice. That's I like it when they mix things up a little bit like that. They get breweries get so focused on the run of the mill beers and they turn in the recipe over on IPAs, pale ales, stouts, porters that sometimes they forget about saisons, barley wine, stuff like that to kind of really flip the boat on them a little bit to make something special. And using that kind of that hop strain is kind of cool.
Yeah, we were. What was I going to say? Pipeworks.
He moved too much. He lost you again, Dan.
Oh no. Oh
my
God!
I think his mic. I think he bought his mic from Twitter. He's only allowed 140 words.
He's hit his limit. Oh my God, that's hilarious.
He's giving me signed cuss words right now. Is what he's doing.
I know. Why don't you just type everything, Dan, and we'll just read it off for you the whole show.
Dan says he's drunk.
Yeah, we were talking about barrel aging. I heard in one of the podcasts a couple episodes ago from Shorts, they're doing a barrel aging program starting up now.
Are they finally? Nice.
Yeah.
They've barrel aged stuff before, but I've never seen it in bottles. It's always been
They've done a couple. They did the Magician.
Then bottles.
And Evil Urges. I don't think so. I think it was just at the pub.
And I've only seen it at the Winter Beer Fest.
Okay.
They've done.
Yeah, you're right.
I remember they do carrot cake or something like that. Wacky. They did something that was bourbon barrel aged. Everyone was like, "Wow!" And I don't think I got any. But yeah, they've done some, but never any bottles.
Yeah, they've done the bourbon barrel aged Evil Urges, I think.
Okay.
And I think you're right. I remember this past Winter Beer Fest. They did something in bourbon barrels. Can't remember. But yeah. They had an episode where they were talking all about barrel aging, so they're starting up their program.
Good.
They've been doing sours. They're
the ciders. Yep, that's one cider I had was pretty good. I didn't have any. Did I have two that night or one? I don't remember. And I'm starting to see them around here. I see them down now in bottles down here in Battle Creek, so they're getting out a little bit. What is it? Star something?
Star Cut.
Star Cut, yeah.
Yeah. So talk about your visit there. You were there for a weekend or something like that?
Yeah. So we had to go up for a conference at Boyne Mountain, which is I don't know, about a 45-minute drive northeast of there a little bit, closer towards Petoskey.
Yeah, I was gonna say Petoskey probably.
Yeah, and my boss had to be there a day early for a board meeting. He's on the board on Sunday, so he said, "Screw it, let's go up Saturday. Let's stay the night in Bel Air. We'll golf at Shanty Creek, and then get up Sunday and drive over to Boyne Mountain." I'm like, "All right." So we drive up, we go golfing, we watch football until 6 or 7 o'clock at Shanty Creek, and then we go and check in at that place that you were talking about. And that place is awesome.
Isn't it?
I tell everybody it's a very romantic place, even though I went there with another male.
Yeah. I did the first time I ever went to Shorts. We went on a whim, and we didn't have any reservations. We were actually planning to go to Portland for the Oregon Beer Festival in July of like 2010, and our flight didn't happen. Something happened. We were supposed to be on standby, and a friend of ours who had a relative that worked at the airline was going to get us a free flight, and it just never happened. And so we were like, all right, we've got 4 days. We took the time off of work. I'll drive anywhere. Where do you want to go? And they had just released like a whole bunch of beers into Chicago for that week or something of Chicago craft. Or no, it was like it was a craft beer conference, and they held it in Chicago that year. And so that we had tried a few of their beers. We're like, let's go to that Shorts place. Where's that at? And they're like, oh, it's Michigan. Shit, 6-hour drive. All right, let's
Right.
go. And we went there, and we had no idea what the town was going to look like, what the brewery looked like, where we were going to stay. And we went to that place, and we're like, you got any vacancies? And they're like, yeah, it's Thursday, wherever you want. And I was like, well, this is nice and romantic for two guys that are good buddies to sleep in almost the same bed almost.
Right.
Some of the rooms are.
What time of year was that? And what year was this? What year was it? And what time of year?
It was July of 2010, I would say.
Okay. So
It was owned by the Shanty Creek, or the inn was owned by somebody else as of I think it was just sold less than a year ago. So they redid a lot of the rooms recently. I've
yeah,
seen.
everything was nice. We didn't go down to the hot tub on the creek at all, on the river or whatever.
But it's a cool view back there, isn't it? It's awesome.
Yeah, we actually went. I don't know if you run or anything like that, but if you do, we went on a nice little run. It was about 4 miles, I think. And we go out. We went out of the front door, and we went north to a street that went down and went out into the woods.
Yep.
And we go through, running through woods and woods and woods and woods on concrete still, or asphalt. And we get to this next road that we knew we had to turn on because we looked at our map ahead of time to kind of figure out where we're going. We turn left. Now we're on a dirt road that's kind of like some typical dirt road you'd find in the middle of cornfields. And that was only about quarter mile or so. And we get into that, we turn left again, and we are on another dirt road. And that dirt road, after about a quarter mile, turns into almost a 2-track. And then right as you're getting into that point, it says, this is a seasonal road. We do not plow this in the wintertime. And all of a sudden, we were up and down it was almost like trail running, but it was still a road. It was just really you wouldn't want to take your Cadillac down this road. It was not a road for you just to rip down, and it was a nice little run. And then it dumped us out on the main highway coming back from Torch Lake into Bel Air, on the outskirts of Bel Air, and we ran in for there. It was a really nice morning run on Sunday. Kind of ran off the hangover. But that hotel was nice, and I was talking to the lady at the front desk, and she says in September they're booked, and we booked it ahead of time. But she said they're booked up. They're booked up for the Shorts Fest they have.
Yep.
And a bunch of other times in the year they're booked up, and then they're not so much as much. So we got back there, we checked in, and immediately my boss wanted to go to the Bel Air bar because he knew I said it had TVs, and I'm like, I don't want to go now and watch that and then get to Shorts late. Let's go to Shorts now, and then we'll come back to that. He's like, all right. So we went down to Shorts and had 2 flights. That's where I did all those pictures and the video and stuff like that. We sat right at the end of the bar. I sat right next to a freaking old man townie guy, just freaking old, telling me about how he's legally blind. His son's down at the Bel Air bar watching the Michigan State game. And, he comes in and eats sandwiches all the time. I mean, just totally guys flannel shirt, big old beard, and it was kind of cool just talking to him. And my boss was talking to some people that were in town from Flint or something like that. So it was 2 totally different world conversations going on. But it was a good time. It was busy as hell. As soon as the Michigan State game came on, they were playing Oregon that night, I think. And as soon as that game came on, the Shorts was dead. I mean,
Really?
it wasn't dead, but it cleared out. And I don't know where everybody went. The people next to us went back to Shanty Creek where they were staying. But it was, you could pretty much sit anywhere you wanted to at that point.
I've never seen it do that.
Yeah, everybody was into the football game, and
That was a Saturday?
Yep.
Because they always have bands playing too.
The band was playing, but as soon as that game started, I'd say everybody on the bar side cleared out for the most part, but then on the band side, there was still, I'd say, half full over there. And then there's another room off the side of that. I don't know if you've seen that. There's a little private room that actually sits like a window on the street there. I'm
trying to remember what's open now. So I've been in the main bar when you walk in. You go to the next room over where they've expanded and they put a second bar back there where the
band is.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I know they bought the pharmacy that used to be past that. So is that open?
Just past that, there's from what I remember, I'd have to go back and look at that video, but it was kind of, I think it was off in the distance. Right off of that main part where the stage is at, there is like a side room that's on the front part of that length. So when you walk down the sidewalk, you walk by the front door, and then there's another window or something where the bar is at for the stage side. And then there's another window. You're looking right in, like a big picture window. You're looking right in at that small room. And I'd say it's a small room, but you could probably get 20 people in there. So I mean, it's a big small room. I don't, but it's not the whole depth of the building. I don't remember what was beyond that, like next to the stage side. I don't.
They probably put that. I know they put in a new kitchen, like a whole huge kitchen now. Because
that's it.
Because they've done that place this whole time. They've done out of like a small like little deli kitchen, and now they expanded and put in like a genuine kitchen with plenty of space, and they've got a lot more room and ways to make their food a lot more efficiently, I guess.
Sure. And if you go, and I didn't know this, but we walked up to the front desk, which the hostess desk, like across from the bar there, and they have like a countertop glass front with like their hats and T-shirts sitting in there.
Yeah.
And I said something to her about something or other, and she says, "Have you been to our gift shop?" And I go, "No, where's that?" She goes, 3 doors down.
Mm-hmm.
So I walked out, and we went down. That's a whole nother. That's beyond that room. It's another building there, and you walk in there, and it's a whole short store.
Yeah.
And they've got everything in there. I mean, you can buy the big plastic Shorts Brewing Company bottle cap. I should have bought that. That was probably the best buy. Some of the stuff was ungodly expensive. I walked in there, and I looked at that bottle cap and was like, and I was thinking about it, and I walked around, and my boss says, "Hey, check out these growlers." They have these growlers that are big mouth on the top. They're almost like a porcelain on the outside or enamel or something.
Yeah.
They've got a strainer in the top, so you can throw vanilla bean or something like that in there when it's getting filled, I guess.
Cool.
Or when it's getting poured out or something. And I was going to buy one of those. They were like $65 or something like that. And I was like, okay, I'll buy one of these. These are worth it and stuff. And so I had it in my hand. I was kind of looking around, and then I looked down, and there's some baseball hats. And I was like, I need another baseball hat. So I grabbed a hat, and I was looking at it, and I looked at it, and it was $30 or something. And I was like, for a baseball hat? And then I looked at the two, and I went, that's when the sticker shock hit me, and I'm like, put them both back. And we left. And I wish I would have went back and got the bottle cap, because I think the bottle cap was like
$20.
Yeah, that was totally doable. I would have bought that and put it up, in my either right here behind me or out in the garage or something like that. That'd have been worth it.
Yeah, they've got a lot more stuff. Probably my most coveted thing, my most favorite thing that I have from them is their mug. There's like a coffee mug.
Okay.
It's like a totally ceramic mug. Dan's gonna try another system restore.
Ooh, wow.
Man,
if that doesn't work, throw gas on it and light it.
I now you know how Google Plus makes me feel almost every other episode when we're trying to go on the air.
Well, I don't host Hangout, so I don't know. I can't relate, but I don't have that many problems with this stuff. So.
I don't send the invite anymore because that's usually the hang-up. Because that's usually the problem. I can't. You guys, I'll send the invite 1,000 times and you guys won't see it. Right. So I just post it in the comments now, so you guys can just click it there. And I haven't had an issue since. So I know it's not a Google thing. I'm just making a joke. But anyways, the Shorts mug I have, I use that probably every morning for my coffee. It's a gigantic ceramic thing. It kind of looks like one of the their Mug Club mugs that they have hanging on the wall.
Yep.
But they're taking over that town, man. It's cool. They've got like their business office is across the street, I guess, too. Now, is the store that you're talking about, is that across the street from the bar, or is it down the street?
Nope, you walk out of the bar, so you're on the immediate sidewalk, and you turn to the right and walk down like three doors. We went. One thing I did buy, because my buddy was telling me they had them and they had bought them all out, was Brees, the company that makes their malt, that they buy their malt from, I should say, makes these chocolate malt balls like Whoppers.
Mm-hmm.
And last time I had been up there, we bought they come in like a little, kind of like, almost like, not burlap, but little like kind of burlappy bag with drawstring at the top.
Yeah.
And it's like, I don't remember how many bucks, $8 or something like that for a bag of them. They're really good. I mean, how good can a Whopper be? But they're really cool, and they come from the actual malt company versus a candy company. So my buddy said, hey, when you go back up there, he goes, I had some this summer, get a bag when you're up there and try them out again. And I'm like, oh, yeah. So I bought a bag, and after we were at Shorts, we went to that Bel Air bar, and we sat and drank shit beer. Well, they had a couple Shorts beers and stuff on tap, but we sat there and watched all the townies and just kind of people watched. It was like full-blown townies in that place. And they were watching the Michigan State game still, and we sat and ate those malt balls, and we're eating a few, and my boss goes, go get me a bag. And I had texted my buddy that I had him, or I texted him a picture, and he goes, can you get me a bag too? So I walked my ass down drunk back to the actual Shorts bar, and bought them there. But you can, I guess, buy them at the store as well, and bought a couple bags. But they've rebranded them, and I don't know if they're going to sell them now because Brees isn't making them anymore. So.
What do you remember the name of the restaurant between Shorts and that Bel Air bar that you're talking about? There's a pretty decent restaurant in between the two.
It's like kind of like almost like a diner thing.
No, it's not a diner. It's like it's a restaurant, a full-on restaurant.
Because there's a glass place that's all glassed in. It's almost like a malt shop looking thing that we walked by.
I can't tell. I can't remember what the front looks like. I remember going there for dinner once, because my wife and I went there for one of our our wedding anniversary, but before we got married. It was like our second or third year of dating, and we went up there and had a dinner before we went to Shorts, and they had a bunch of Shorts beers there too, but the food was really good.
Okay.
So that's a good place to grab some grub if you're in the mood for something decent other than like bar food or whatever.
Right.
But
I've got a place for you then for breakfast.
Mocha?
No, we actually found out about this place from the lady at the front desk at the hotel, and it's off the beaten path big time. Hold on, let me see if I can find it real quick. I'm looking at the maps. Mrs. Pete's Restaurant.
Yeah.
So basically what you do is you go back like you're south, like you're leaving town,
Mm-hmm.
and you get to the light there where the lunch box is on the corner. There's like the lunchbox diner, and Mocha is near the corner, according. Starlight Lounge is on the corner of that corner.
Okay.
And you're going to take a left, so you're going east, and you're going to go all the way down, and the road's going to, at one point,
Curve to the right.
Yep.
There's like a subway right there.
Yep, I'm looking at the map. Good job, Subway.
And then you go past the McDonald's on the right, and there's a BP on the left, and a grocery store on the left.
Yep, you don't curve right though. Go straight.
Okay.
And you're going to go straight about, I don't know, a quarter mile or so, and there's this little place called Mrs. Pete's, and they have supposedly the best, what do they call it? Cinnamon rolls in Michigan. And so I had to order one for like $2. You get the cinnamon roll. I'm like, okay, I gotta have this if you're touting it. Basically, I think they take these awesomely baked cinnamon rolls and they put them on the grill, and they take one of those like handheld like spatula presses and just smash it into the grill and then throw it on a plate. And you get this thing, and it's like the size of a pancake. And you're like, what the fuck? And so we had I think I had a burrito, big breakfast burrito, and I don't remember. I think my boss had like some like working man's breakfast or something like that, and then I ordered that, and it was good. But it was nice because it wasn't like on the strip there, so you had to be kind of a town person to go there and know that it was there. So
nice. Yeah, I'll have to check that out next time. Have you ever been to the meat place out there? There's like a Bel Air smokehouse.
No, is it like could they cook it or they just make it?
It's you take it home. Okay. They got the best bacon, hands down, I've ever had. You go past the inn that you guys stayed at. It's on the same side of the road, and you go just like a block or two down, and it looks like a house, but there's a sign that says the Bel Air Smokehouse.
Okay.
You go in there, and they used to have a fridge full of like really amazing beers. Like they'd have Bourbon County Stout. They'd have like all this crazy stuff that the guy, he's a big beer guy, so he would like they close up shop like from December to April.
Okay.
And so they travel around, and he buys a bunch of beers from all over the place, and he'll come back and he'll sell them in the shop. And I've come home with so much good stuff. I've had the Chainbreaker, I think is what it is, the anniversary beer from Founders that they put out like one time.
Oh, wow.
A couple of the what's that series from Stone? The God damn, what's the name of it? The one where they have like the dates where you're supposed to like open it.
Oh, yeah, the vertical.
Yeah.
Vertical Applic.
No, the verticals, yeah.
They just came out with a new one now.
I heard about that, yeah.
I almost picked it up and was like, and I put it back on the shelf.
They're good beers, man. I would grab that.
Well, I was at my monetary limit, so
Gotcha.
I was like sacrificed. That was my sacrificial lamb. So.
What's up, Kevin? How you doing?
How you doing?
Good, man. What you up to?
Not much. It's been a while since I've been on, so I completely lost.
Been a while since we've been on.
Well, yeah, I guess that's true. But I remember the last few styles I bought for the show. I ended up having to drink all by my lonesome. And now I get to come on. I had no idea what style you had for the show.
It doesn't matter. None of us are drinking the right style.
All right. Well, maybe I got it then.
Well, Dan is, but he can't get his mic working, so he's
Yes.
doing a system restore right in the middle of the show.
He literally sat there and listened to Chris and I talk about our experiences in Bel Air, Michigan for like probably a half an hour, and he just decided to duck out because he couldn't say anything. So what are you drinking tonight?
I got a Two Brothers Adam Smasher.
Oh, that's a good one.
It's their Oktoberfest.
It's oak aged, right?
Yeah, it's oak aged, which is unique for an Oktoberfest, at least as far as I can tell. It's a good
See,
one.
this is the style then tonight is oak aged. This is the High Lion oak. So,
Oh, I've had that.
Bourbon barrel aged.
What is Highlight? That sounds familiar. Like I've had
Cigar
it.
City.
Cigar City down in Tampa.
Maybe I've just heard of it then, because I know for certain that I never had a Cigar City because I've heard good things, but never had it.
Oh, Highlight.
Yeah, Highlight's
It's
great
usually
beer, and I don't know what to taste. This is aged on white oak, and I'm like, I don't know what I should be looking for in this, because
Oh yeah.
yeah, I'm like, it should have some like, is it maybe some like vanilla or something? I don't know. It's hard to taste because the Highlight is such a strong and complex beer in itself. It's got a lot of caramel, from the malts. It's one of those, IPAs that they really leave the caramel base in there, so you can get a lot of that and the hops. And so I don't know what to look for in the oak. Everyone, jizzes over this beer, and so I got it from a buddy that went down there this summer, and we did a little trade a couple weeks ago, and I'm like, yeah, I got one can. And so I'm like tasting it right now, and I'm like, yeah, it's still, to me, it just tastes like regular Highlight, which is great. But
because Highlight's great, you're right. It's got a good malty backbone to it, but it's super citrusy and like tropical fruit kind of hops to it.
Yeah. Yep.
So it's I'm curious to how that would be. Skylar said he is just finished his last delivery.
Traffic.
He says he hates Houston traffic. If anyone's on in about a half an hour, just shoot him an invite. That's not going to happen. Sorry, Skylar. I'm on like 2.5 hours of sleep from last night. It's not happening. It's not the baby's fault either. I mean, I wake up to change her, when she wakes up, and she sleeps like at night. She's doing like 5.5 hour stretches. So like we're waking up maybe once in the middle of the night, and then she wakes up maybe half an hour before I normally get up for work. So. I just lay there and I can't go to sleep. I can't turn my brain off once
You
I'm
gotta
up.
train yourself.
I know, I'm trying. I was like laying in the dark for hours. I'm like, just fucking go to sleep, man. You've got to get up in like 3 hours.
Uh-huh.
I had a few times spells like last year when I was doing that, and I would just go to the gym and say screw it, and I'd go and work out at like 3 a.m. And I get back and I'm like, okay, now the family's getting around to getting up. I'll take a shower and go to work. And
Yeah, I went for a big run yesterday, thinking, all right, it's not going to happen again because I'm going to exhaust myself. And I was so dead tired when I went to bed. But once the baby woke us up, I was like up and I couldn't go back to sleep. So what are you going to do? Dan's giving it a third try. What's up, Dan? Can we hear you? Oh, I see the lights.
For about 2 seconds. So, hi.
Oh, there you go.
You've got 100. You got 100 characters left.
I'll,
Chris made a joke that this is like Twitter tonight for Dan. He's only got 140 characters before his mic cuts off.
I don't know what's doing it. It's weird.
It's got to be your USB connection for somehow, because it's your mic, right?
Well, no, I think it's internal after a certain point because the mic light stays on, but there's that blink sound, and then there's just no discussion between the mic and the.
Right there.
I did that.
Oh, you did that.
Tool.
Right. I was on another web page. I clicked on another tab. I was like, yeah, no, back. I saw the big mute button on it.
I was like,
You can see that, Mike.
yeah, well, I was hoping you did. I did it on purpose. What's cool? Like so far, we've all, except for Dan, we've all got wood-aged beers. Dan's the only one who went with the style tonight.
Why did he? I thought that he should have had wood aged.
Mm-hmm.
That's not what we talked about.
I can check. Maybe they did.
Well, Kevin, I had texted you about this already, but Pipeworks, that's the brewery that Dan's drinking right now. I heard on a podcast that they're brewing a beer with Emporium, which is like a really good arcade with old school like 80s video games and stuff. They have an amazing craft beer list and everything. They're doing a collaborative beer for October 21st, 2015. They're going to be playing all the Back to the Future movies, and they're brewing a double IPA with what's the pine? Yeah,
Spruce?
Yeah, spruce pine needles. And they're going to call it Twin Pine. Yeah. So I'm interested to see how that is. I know a couple of those spruce pine beers are pretty good that I've had. I've only had like one or two. I know Shorts does one. I can't think of the other.
Spruce Pilsner.
Oh yeah.
Isn't there a Nicey's? No, not Nicey Spicy. There's another one another spruce one they do.
Yes. Because I like spruce pills, but whatever other one that you're thinking of, I know what you're talking about, and I don't like it.
The other one's a ale. Spruce Pilsner is obviously a lager, but there's a the other one's a ale. I'll look it up while you guys are talking.
Actually, speaking of lagers, I just posted a link. This was kind of a cool article. I guess that a bunch of Belgian brewers are messing around with yeast strains, and they have actually developed a dozen or so new lager strains that give you different flavors to try to get more character out of lager yeast than is present. Because I guess that currently there's maybe 2 strains of yeast that they use to lager beer, where there are dozens for ales. So this is kind of trying to bring the same genetic diversity to and flavors to lager yeast as you get in ales. So I thought that was kind of cool.
Yeah. So I didn't get to read that. That's cool.
That is, and the other big one, I just saw this actually before I hopped on, and we were mentioning brewery collaborations. This is about increase in production. 18th Street, I guess, is increasing and moving their production facilities. Yeah. I'm not exactly sure when. You saw it probably on Good Beer Hunting too, but it's coming, I guess, in the near future, which is nice because we might actually get distribution up here, or at the very least, they'll get more in Indiana because they're tiny. They're tiny.
Yeah, I just I saw the article on Good Beer Hunting. They post on Facebook, but it looks like they're gonna talk about it. There's the latest episode of Good Beer Hunting called Hypecast. They're doing like I guess an offshoot kind of a show. But it's still, if you're subscribing to Good Beer Hunting on iTunes, it still brings it up as like the most recent episode. It's all 18th Street Brewery and all their future plans and all that stuff. So I just downloaded it right before the show started, so I figure I'd listen to that tomorrow.
Nice.
So that's cool. I have not done much over at 18th Street. I've had a couple of their beers. I know I had one over at your house before, Dan, and somehow I forget how I got another one before, but I've only had like one or two of their beers, and
Well, I think when they first opened up, they did collaborations with Pipeworks, or either that or Surly.
well,
Or not Surly. I'm sorry. Oh God, what's the one locally? It's not Surly. It's
Lakefront.
no. They
Revolution?
got the face like this. It's one of my favorites.
oh, Sun.
Spiteful.
What's that?
Sun King?
No. I'll find it. I'm sorry.
It wasn't Spiteful?
Oh, it is Spiteful. You're right. Yeah, it is. No, you're absolutely right.
Well, Drew
someone
Fox
was saying
worked
Sun
at,
King, and I was like, no, it's not that.
Pipeworks. He like cut his teeth at Pipeworks, and then 18th Street. I think they're another Kickstarter brewery.
Mm-hmm. Yes, they are. But I think that he also did time over at Spiteful as well.
That Saison, by the way, is cloudy.
Yeah, I just dumped the yeast in. I was
Oh,
like,
did you?
I'm gonna drink it.
Look at that.
Wow,
Metamucil, baby.
That almost looks like the Saison I got over at. Remember that one year, Kevin? At
Yeah, that Horny Goat.
yeah.
Horny goat, nice.
That was like that looked like milk.
It was like.
Oh
so
my
cloudy.
god.
I mean, it tasted
Wow.
fine, but it
Yeah,
looked really
it
bad.
looked really bad.
But their beers have greatly improved. I don't know if they got a new brewer or what, but everything that we had the last time we were there, I thought was phenomenal.
It was like
Maybe that's
Activia. It was
because
like
the,
liquid Activia.
Maybe it was because we went later in the afternoon and the Blackhawks were winning.
Could be. But I really liked every other beer, and I'm still buying that chocolate peanut butter porter. I found another one in cans. They're doing it. They're doing all their beers in cans apparently now.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I went with like a random sixer over at Binny's, and they had like 3 cans of it left, so I had to grab that chocolate peanut butter porter. It was awesome.
All right, real quick, Shorts Bourbon Barrel Sustenance is another one they do. They also do a Maple Bourbon Barrel Magician, including the Bourbon Barrel Magician. They do Bourbon Barrel Aged Applejack. Oh, these don't look like they don't make anymore. Evil Urges, Carrot Cake, yep. Black Cherry Porter, Bourbon Barrel Huma.
I've had that. That's good.
Bourbon Sage Wana. Shorts Old Ale.
Sage.
And one more. Double Bourbon Wizard. I don't know. I don't know what that is. And then the other spruce beer that's an ale, I think. Yeah, it's an IPA. Is Juicy Tree.
That's one. I'm not a fan.
You don't like that one?
No.
That one's it's experimental IPA brewed with spruce tips, cranberries, and juniper berries. So I can see why. I had a little bit of.
I had that at the pub, and I did not care for it very much. But that's probably one of the only beers that I'm not a big fan of that I've ever had from them. So they're still doing the Space Rocks on a regular basis out there, right?
Yep, it's been up there. I was gonna say the new one that we just had. It was really good, but that wasn't Shorts. It was Odd Side. I got one of those in the fridge.
Oh yeah, that was that mocha stout or something. They're not mocha.
Well, there's this one I had tonight. It was the chocolate coffee stout, which is the Mayan mocha base. It's gotta be. It's the same thing as Mayan mocha stout without the peppers, and that's really good. But the one that got floated my boat was it was a Citra IPA, and man, it was probably one of the best beers I've had by them. I thought Mayan Mocha Stout was probably one of the best ones I've had by Oddside, but this one was if you poured this in a glass and told somebody to drink it, said guess the Michigan brewer, I would be hard pressed to not to always say, oh, this is a Shorts brew, because it was like dank, it was mango and pineapple and just really good. It was an IPA, I believe.
Was it their IPA? Because they do a Citra Pale Ale.
Yeah.
That I would put up against Zombie Dust any day.
Yeah.
Let me go get it. I only got a couple of minutes here. I feel like having another beer anyways because I'm empty.
Because they do a black Citra IPA or Pale Ale as well.
It's not the citrus. I know what it is. It's All I Want Is My ATV. That's what the name of it was. And I was like, well, ATV, and then I don't know if it was Dan or somebody else commented and said, oh, they're commenting about the because I didn't look at the label close enough. It's the label looks like Dire Straits. All I Want Is My MTV.
Oh, I did not. No, I did not see that.
And I think the A is has something to do with ale. All I want is my ale TV, I guess, is what I'm guessing what the A stands for, and they couldn't use M because they'd be sued or something.
Right.
But, it's a Citra hopped, I think, IPA, and it's a lot of mango in that thing and pineapple. It's just really kind of like got that awesome aroma coming off of it. It was a really good beer. I did notice that if I drink it first as my first beer, I didn't experience it as much, but if I drink like this coffee stout first and then drink one of those, my palate was like ready to drink that. It was weird. It's like I had to charge my palate with like a stout and just kind of get it off the map and then bring that Citra on afterwards, and it just totally changed the way that Citra beer tastes. If I just got home first thing and cracked one of those Citra beers open, I was like, oh, this is okay. It doesn't taste like it did last night. And then I'd drink one of these chocolate coffee stouts or whatever, and I drink that, and then I turn around and drink another one of those. I'm like, wow, this bottle's totally different. Yeah, maybe I was drunk. I don't know, but it's something with the palate, man. It's weird.
No, I got that with like if you do an English beer, never do like an English pale ale as your second beer, especially if you have a strong flavored beer before that, because it's like drinking water. But yeah, I mean the beer you had before will affect the beer after it. It's weird.
Yeah, it was good.
So what's new by you, Kevin? Any festivals or any breweries or releases that you've been to? I can't remember. I feel like you.
Yeah, I think you're probably thinking of. I went to we went to beer school at the Map Room.
Yeah.
A couple weeks ago, 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, whatever it was. That was really cool. We the theme was Oktoberfests, so they had all Oktoberfest beer, and for an hour and a half. It was like the guy from what was his name? I had his name up here. Kirby Nelson, Wisconsin Brewing Company. He's the head brewer there. Used to brew at Capitol in Madison. He came down, and for an hour and a half he spoke. He spoke about brewing. He spoke about Oktoberfests. He just kind of talked about whatever for an hour and a half, answered some questions, and he was pretty good. Told some stories, but he'd explain. We went through, I think, maybe eight or 10 different Oktoberfest beers where they'd come out and they'd give you a tasting glass, and he'd talk about it, and you kind of get to compare it. It was really good. I liked it.
Nice.
Got to try. His was actually, I thought was the best of the lot. I had never had it before. Their patron saint Oktoberfest.
Oh, but that's Wisconsin Brewing, not Capitol, right? Okay.
Wisconsin, yeah, Wisconsin.
Okay, but he used to brew at Capitol because
That's right.
Capitol makes some good lagers. I'll bet that he was the one that got him rolling on that.
Yeah,
too.
so he was
Right.
he was really talking. You could tell his favorite styles were lager beers. The way he talked about them and about his history.
Right.
But it was a lot of fun. You get to sit there in the afternoon. He was laughing how it was because this was 2 weeks ago. It was 65 degrees on a Saturday afternoon. He's like, "This is perfect Oktoberfest weather."
That's true.
Time of day, everything.
Yeah.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
Then you hit Peace after that, right?
Oh yeah. It was that made for a good evening.
Anything good for in there?
I don't remember what we had at Peace since.
They just, I think they just brought home a silver medal, was it?
I saw
Either
some
silver or gold, yeah.
They did.
No, that's like their 14th medal in 14 years. I mean, it's insane.
Is that right?
Yeah, it's something crazy like that.
That's such an interesting brewery too, because I mean it's a staple in Chicago. You got to go there. Chris, have you ever been there before?
Where is it at? What?
It's in the Bucktown neighborhood. It's called Peace, Piece.
No.
Amazing pizzas, but
Okay, I've had their beers at when we had. Speaking of which they announced. I'm leading into this. I had some of their beers at the Sierra Nevada Beer Camp.
Oh, yeah.
2 summers ago.
Yeah.
They just announced that they're going to do another tour for 2016. I
Right.
don't know if they're going to be in Chicago yet, but yeah, I did have a beer or two from them then.
Right. That makes
So
sense.
it's a weird thing because everyone's getting huge and expanding and distributing out of state and doing all this stuff, and Peace just keeps staying the same size. You know, they don't expand into the next building. Well, they actually did a little bit, didn't they? They like opened up to the the to-go pizza area, but other than that, they just kind of stick with the building that they're in. They don't. I don't hear anything about them, you know, buying another location or, you know, franchising or anything like that. But they just keep putting out outstanding beers. I mean, and they're consistent with like the ones that they do. They got, you know, the full frontal. They've got the camel toe, the moose knuckle.
I've had one of those three. I don't remember which one. I just remember I was like laughing at the name. I was like, yeah, fill me up with my sample.
Which is just so funny because there's such an uproar about like beer names lately,
Right.
and they're never thrown into the mix. They're totally not, you know, brought up.
Grandfathered in, yeah.
Yeah, they're just never like.
No, they're too tiny.
Are
They're not on the radar enough.
But I mean, Pig Minds is the one that made the big fuss last year, and
Yeah, but you know what? It's because there's a label. They don't have any labels to put on a newspaper article or a web
I
article.
bet you're right. You're right.
They don't bottle or anything, right? Is that
No.
Yeah,
No.
that's it right there. You can name your beer whatever. You can name it
Mm-hmm.
the most vulgar thing you want, and I think you'll be fine with
They
it.
get pretty close. They get pretty good.
Yeah.
But
That's the thing. It's similar to shorts in terms of maybe a desire not to grow that much. I mean, shorts is trying to just, I think, get enough to where they're not busting their ass so much. But they say they're not going to go outside the state, and I
they
don't
don't
see
have any plans on it.
No. so-
Joe Short is actually putting on all their merchandise now, and a lot of their labels is Michigan only, Michigan forever.
Mhm.
He has no plans on stepping outside that state.
And you know what? If he sticks with that, that's freaking awesome. I mean, that's pulling people in, and the problem is I think he's gotten stuck in those pale ales a little too much. That barrel aging that he's going to start doing, that'll help up a little bit. But you know, they've gotten in the last couple of years doing too many of the same kind of similar beers, and I think they've lost a little niche there. They need.
Well, they're doing sours now. They're doing the barrel aging program. They're stepping out.
Yeah, and the ciders, yeah.
I was going to say, a brewery that doesn't need to step out. I mean, God, how many beers do they have in their portfolio? Like a billion?
But I mean, they do 100 when they do like a tap takeover, like at like the Hopcats. Whenever they open a new Hopcat, they'll do like 100 beers on one tap takeover. Like,
Yeah.
Who can make that many beers at the same time? It's crazy.
Right.
Yeah, they do their thing. I think they do it well. I know you've said a lot of their beers are tasting the same, but I don't know. I think if you put them next to each other, you'd probably feel differently. But
That's true. But I guess there's normal seasonal ones, but like I think last year and the year before, really like they came out with a lot of like Freedom of 1978 or 78, you know,
Freedom of
Space
78.
Rock. They're all kind of pale ales or American.
yeah, but Freedom of
pale ale.
78 is totally different. They make that with the guava, and it's
Yeah, but I mean, honestly, it's a dank beer, and then if you get Space Rock, it's a really dank beer, and yeah, one's got guava, one doesn't, but I mean, you're splitting hairs to me at that point. I mean, yeah, they're different, but you know, where's Carrot Cake? Where's where's their PB&J that they used to do? They don't
Oh,
do
the key lime pie beer.
Key lime pie. I think they came out with that this year, but a couple years they didn't there, and it's just now those beers are more, I think, in the fall or spring too. But the summertime is probably hard. But you know, just bourbon barrel aged anything, throw that in a bottle. I mean, I know it's probably expensive. I'm glad they're doing that maybe now, but I just think they needed to mix up the styles a little bit. I think they got really kind of pale ale-ish all the way through the last couple summers and early spring and fall. So
Well, I mean, that's kind of interesting, though, because you take a look at a Three Floyds, and imagine if they tried to branch out. They get bitch slapped, and that happens, man. I mean, they can't put a lager out there without people going, where's the next IPA, man? You know, it's like, where's the next hoppy ale?
But that's what they're known. They've started at, and
Exactly.
that's what they know. Shorts. When I first started getting on shorts, man, it was like I used to call them the Dogfish Head of freaking Michigan because they would brew some wacky shit. It wasn't like this stuff from like ancient times or anything like that. But they had the spruce tips. They pull all these weird ingredients in to make key lime pie. You're like, oh my god, I don't want to try that. And then you taste it, and you're like, this is actually pretty damn good. Or the carrot cake beer, the
the strawberry shorts cake.
The
Shorts cake.
s'mores.
The s'mores one was another one when they took their Uber Goober and mixed it with Soft Parade and made the peanut and jelly one. I thought, oh, why would you make a beer that's peanut jelly? And then I tasted it and I was like, this is really damn good. So I always called them this eclectic brewery, and then I don't know if it just was too expensive because then they kind of got off that kick, and all you started seeing in that middle time of the year, because the winter time and late fall or early fall, early spring, late fall was some more robust, noble beers, Noble Chaos and stuff like that. Wizard would come out, stuff like that. But right there in that middle of the summer, it was just all like flat out different. It was just splitting hairs through all these different pale ales and IPAs and stuff like. And don't get me wrong, they were all great freaking beers, but after a while, you're like, oh, I want something different. Surprise me, Shorts. Where's all these other beers used to do? Because I don't.
I agree. But think about what's the number one style in beer right now.
Right,
it's IPAs and pale ales.
Yeah.
Everyone wants the hoppier beers. It's a business. You got to sell beer and you got to make money.
Right.
And at the same time, they're still doing those other beers. But you're right. They do a lot of those. But there's two reasons. One, they gotta make money, and two, Joe Shorts said it a million times, his favorite style of beer is an IPA, so that's what he likes to brew. So
well, he did that cerveza beer, which is like a Mexican lager or whatever. Which I don't know if you're craft. I mean, it was. I didn't like it, but I don't necessarily. If I'm going to buy a craft beer, I don't want something that tastes similar to Corona, And that's
he made that beer for his wife. His wife it's Corona basically. And she likes a good Mexican lager, and he made it for. That's why it's called like Cerveza de Julia.
Oh, I got you. Her name's Frank Julie.
Yeah.
So did you watch the link I posted about them reading the nasty Twitter or email?
I watched that, but I didn't see you post it, but I watched it the other day.
I posted it the other day, and then I went back and watched his Back to the Future video too from earlier this year or whatever.
From Shorts Fest.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. But the emails were funny because one of them was some guys like, that cerveza beer tastes like ass or something like that. And he looks at I don't know if that was the one, but he looks at the thing and he goes, thanks, butthole, or something.
No, that was the one where the guy was like, whoever made that beer should be fired.
Yeah. And
it was Joe Short was like, well, that was me, and a lot of people wouldn't be happy about that. Butthole.
Butthole. That was the heading of my post for the video. I just said in bold at the top. I said butthole.
All right, let's wrap it up, guys. I'm gonna get to bed. I'm gonna try to catch some sleep tonight. So I don't have the wheel because the iPad's playing music for the baby right now. So let's pick a stop. I know she's ruining everything now. My whole life's upside down. So let's pick a stout. What do you guys want to drink next week? We're heading into October, and fall beers. Let's see. I don't know.
I will make an input if it looks like I could make it. Let me see what my schedule is.
Just throw. We don't normally get the chance to just throw a seasonal beer on there. There's a bunch of them.
Just a seasonal like pumpkin.
How about we just call it seasonal and see what people bring.
All right.
Works for me.
That's cool.
So that puts us at about October 7th is going to be next week. I can't believe it's October already. Alrighty. All right, guys. Thanks for joining. Thank you for anyone who's watching this after we post on YouTube. And we'll be back next week with our seasonal beer for October. Next Wednesday, October 7th at 8 p.m. Central Standard Time as always. So thank you guys for joining us this week, and cheers. We'll see you.
Cheers.
Cheers.